So you get your drone, you get the micro SD card out, you put it in your laptop computer, and the problem is you can't make your picture look like it. I mean, wait a minute. How, what? So I'm going to help you today with that. So let's look at this picture from JR's Marina, also called Little River Marina. It's on Lake Weiss in Alabama. Shout out to them. Wonderful place, wonderful people. Shout out to Bill. He was very welcoming when I asked him if I could take some drone pictures. And so thank you to you, Bill, for being so kind. And I just want to show you guys how to edit this. So let's get into it. All right. The first thing I notice is this foreground is too dim. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the shadows. All right. I pull it up too bright, and then I say, okay, that's too bright, so let's back it down now. Where does it look the right? Maybe like that. Let's try right in there to start. And let's also turn up the vibrance, which is going to add some color. It's going to make the colors that are already there pop. We're going to pull it up to 20. We're not going to pull it up above that because we don't want it to look unnatural. 23, that's fine. It doesn't have to be exact. Then we're going to go down here to blue. We're going to add some blue saturation to pull out more blue in the sky. So there's the blue that you see. Then aqua. Okay, now I need to be careful with the blue saturation, so I'm going to leave it right there for now because we're going to come back to that. All right, so we have a pretty nice foreground and a sky that looks pretty nice, but I do want to work on it some more. So let's put a mask on the sky. So we're going to click this circle button plus sky, because that's going to put a mask over the sky only. So now this is showing you, highlighting exactly what you're going to be affecting, what you're going to be adjusting, only the sky. The first thing we're going to do is pull the highlights to the left to bring down the brightness of the sky and to bring forward those clouds that are in the foreground. Now when I do that, you see some of that milkiness go away too, which is what we want. So that's a good start right there. With that start, I'm going to go down here to dehaze and slide it to the right. Now look at how much color and texture is coming out of the clouds when I slide that dehaze. This is one of the most powerful levers, one of the most powerful things you can adjust in a sunset shot. You have to be very careful. It's very sensitive. So I'm only going to start, I'm going to start at 15. Okay. Now I can also give it a little clarity, but you have to be careful with that one too. I'm going to pull the clarity back down to 10. Okay. Now the textures, we want to accent the textures in this picture, because when we accent the textures, things like the lines in this roof right here, the waves, and these clouds that have ridges on them are going to pop more. So I'm going to pull up the texture a little bit. Okay. That's pretty good right there, I think. And now I'm going to work some more on this foreground a little more. And I see that it's a little bit noisy. I can see some fuzziness in here. So I'm going to try to get rid of that by going back to the edit thing here where I adjust the whole picture. And I'm going to try to denoise it by raising this noise reduction. Now you see as I raise it, some of this fuzziness is going away. All right. That's sharpening up that image. I'm also going to turn up the sharpening. Now look how much more in focus that went. I slid it to the right, and look at this truck right here in these boats. How much more in focus they're about to get. Do you see that? Okay, now that's good, but now you have to back the picture out to make sure nothing looks too sharp out here. Like these waves, which they don't. They actually look really good. Oh, and that looks really solid right there. Good detail. All of that looks really good. So I'm really happy with this foreground now. I'm really happy with it. The only thing I want to do is just adjust the vibrance a little more. I'm going to pull it up just a little more, and the saturation just a smidge. Okay, now what the saturation is doing, that's giving everything in here that has color that's not a neutral color just a little more color. You don't want it to look unnatural, but I think we have a beautiful picture here. And I also think if I take this tint right here and I move it just a little bit to the left, I'm going to have an even bluer sky. But you have to be careful. Because we don't want it to, well, that trick didn't work. Sometimes it does. There's not a lot of blue to work with. I'm trying to make that blue come out a little bit more. I'm going to try to get that saturation level up a little more. Okay, that helped. But that's an extremely large amount of saturation. I don't like the unnatural look that it's bringing, so I'm going to slide it back down some. Okay, now overall, I'm pretty happy with this one. If you have not been to Little River Marina, you are missing out. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not just a great spot on the water, it's a place where people congregate. If you look right here, you'll see people in the boat shop. They repair boats here, and there's just a little community of people that live right in here. I mean, it's a wonderful spot, but it also has a bait shop inside. It has docks out there where you can put your boat in the water. There's tables where you can bring your fish in and take pictures of your catch. It's a great place. If you have not visited on Lake Weiss, do so. They also have hotels you can stay in there, and it's a great place. So check it out, and shout out to them. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. If you learned something, leave it in the comments what you learned. If you want to add something that I didn't do, leave that in the comments as well. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next video.